over my life, I've had to learn to sit with anger. It's okay. It's normal. It's a part of life. You're not a monster because you're angry at somebody disrespecting you. Sometimes you do got to let the chopper spray. Sometimes. Emphasis on sometimes. Yeah, when you're finding yourself angry about things that don't normally make you angry, it might be depression. Fun fact. Week 3, we did it. We did it. Week 3, recovering a sense of power. This has been, I think this might be my favorite week so far. And not that it was easy, it wasn't. Like, I had a lot to sit with. She starts off with a conversation about anger, which that's kind of how I ended up starting this channel or uploading again onto YouTube. Was I was pissed off about the elections. So like that already spoke to me. One of the things I wish as society we talked more about how depression in some of us shows up as anger. I had a bout with depression many, many years ago, and for me, it showed up as anger. Some people, they cry all day, they're sad, they can't get out of bed. For me, I wanted to fight everyone. That is how depression showed up in me and a lot of us. And so I think it's important to acknowledge, yeah, when you're finding yourself angry about things that don't normally make you angry, it might be depression. Fun fact. So this chapter really spoke to me. Let me read you an important, hold on, my head is in the way. Anger is meant to be listened to. Anger is a voice, a shout, a plea, a demand. Anger is meant to be respected. Why? Because anger is a map. Anger shows us what our boundaries are. Anger shows us where we want to go. It lets us see where we've been and lets us know when we haven't liked it. Anger points the way, not just the finger. In the recovery of a blocked artist, anger is a sign of health. Let's sit with that for a minute. I think what I came to learn through my own journey is that anger is the mask that sadness wears. It's a secondary emotion, meaning your first thing you feel is a sense of hurt. And for some of us, instead of sadness coming to the surface, we skip over sadness and we go to anger. Because that's ultimately what it is. Like someone hurt you and you want to hurt them back. That to me is anger in a nutshell. So anytime you do experience anger, pay attention to what's underneath. Like what hurt you? What made you feel, I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, I think her kind of, she's basically saying anger can help guide us if we're able to listen to it. That's a big one, especially as a woman, a black woman in all these white workspaces, we automatically get labeled as aggressive and what have you. And I know for me, sometimes I'll lie to myself and like, no, I'm not angry about that. And of course, what happens? You get even more angry. So don't do that. Over my life, I've had to learn to sit with anger. It's okay. It's normal. It's a part of life. You're not a monster because you're angry at somebody disrespecting you. Sometimes you do got to let the chopper spray. Sometimes you do got to air that, I'm trying not to curse. You got to empty the clip. Okay? Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes. Emphasis on sometimes. Let me say this about anger. Anger is a tool. Anger for me has been a great clarifier because I'll find myself getting angry about things. And when you sit with it and when you interrogate it, why did that make me angry? Anger lets you know what you don't want. And I think that's really important. A lot of times we know what we do want, and then what we don't want shows up. We're like, whoa, what's this? You got to get crystal clear. I think anger is really good for clarifying that kind of stuff. What else do I want to say about anger? Yeah. So off the top, that was a really important section of the chapter. And then she gets into hope. Hope and I'll call it faith. It's this faith that things are going to work out even when you are trying to avoid a certain path. There is something about fate that is just meant to be. We like to pretend it's hard to follow our heartstrings. The truth is, it is difficult to avoid walking through the many doors that will open. Turn aside your dream and it will come back to you again. Let me tell you, let me tell you how true that is. Let me testify for a moment. So, fresh out of college, 2007, I'm old. 2007, I'm fresh out of college. I get a job at a TV network. And it was great. I had the time of my life. My absolute favorite place I've ever worked to this day. Still my favorite place. Love the people. Had such a great experience. And then the recession came. Remember when everybody's houses got foreclosed on? Yeah. So as a result, the economy was in the pits and I lost my job along with thousands, if not millions of other people. And so I was out of TV for years, to the point where I didn't even bother applying because I was just like, fuck this. Oop, I cursed. And so lo and behold, the jobs that would come to me without me applying nothing ended up being TV jobs. So here I am again. And I'm being vague on purpose because I don't trust the internet. And there are things happening that I can't really talk about yet. I will one day. But to wrap up that little story, the project I'm working on now, there's a woman, one of the execs is actually somebody I worked with at this other TV network when I got laid off. So I feel like that is such a full circle moment, an unintentional full circle moment. Like I was pulled back into this world. I've had a lot of jobs. Woo, I've had a lot of jobs, a lot of careers. I've often felt like a planet out of orbit, and we keep coming back to TV. So here we are. TV or the arts or creative. We'll call it the creative space. But yeah, that's a pretty crazy thing to have your dream job snatched from you. And let me go on to say like that was hard. That was hard to deal with, and I didn't realize how hard it was until after the fact. But, I like to fight. I like to tussle, but yeah, this was a lot of contemplation this week. I did my morning pages. I also went on an artist date. Woo! But yeah, what really came out for me is my relationship with anger and also just faith. Like taking the time to think like, you know what? Yeah, stuff does kind of work out. It really does. And like I was really freaked out back in December because my job was very not secure. With the company I work at, we lost our funding and it was a whole thing. Very scary times, but like it worked out. It worked. Oh, well, at least for now. It worked out. Please God, I can't take any more stress. Anyway, anger, things are working out even when they don't look like it. Rejection is redirection, all the things. But yeah, week 3 was fantastic. And y'all, the art supplies came back out this week. Look it, I'm gonna show you my sketchbook. We have been doing things in the sketchbook. We're back. We're back. It only took a couple weeks, but we're back. I haven't drawn in a long. Did I put dates on this? No. I normally put dates on when I do stuff in my sketchbook. Anyway, we're back. We drew quite a bit this week, and we will do more. And it's just like I'm doing it for fun this time, which is a very different experience than like actively trying to learn something. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that was week 3. Looking forward to week 4. Um, yeah, I'm interested what else comes up. Like the anger thing really, yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. Okay. Bye. See you next week.